Hi, it's David Merrill. I want to talk to you a little bit today about how life happens. I started my morning with my typical visualization ritual that I do for my law of attraction exercise. Very calmly visualizing what it was I wanted in life, make my intentions known to the universe, and begin my day. I know that the next step in the law of attraction is to give concentrated effort to those things that you want to bring into your life. And so I started with that mission until the phone rang. An attorney that I have working on a real estate transaction needed me to come into his office right away to sign some papers. So a little bit perturbed, I decided, okay, I have to do this. I took off, and all the while I'm driving there, I'm thinking, if I worked in an office and I had a 9-to-5 schedule, people wouldn't be calling me in the middle of the day to do these things. But because they know I work at home, because I'm an internet marketer, they will bother me about these things. They'll say, hey, run over, this is urgent. So I'm driving there, I was a little bit perturbed about that. And then on my way back, I thought, okay, I'll quickly get back. I didn't lose too much time, and I'm going to get right back to my schedule until I heard my brakes squealing. And I knew what that meant. So I had to drive straight over to a garage station, asked them to repair the brakes, and of course they didn't have car service available, so I had to walk home, which was about a 5-mile walk. So I walked home, all the time starting to get very, very annoyed and thinking how I've really lost this day. This is not what I intended it to be. And when I get home, about an hour later, after I had just finally started just beginning to get down to some work, the phone rang again, and they asked me to come in and pick the car up because they were leaving early for the day. The car was done, and I had to walk back the same 5 miles. On the way back, as I was walking those 5 miles, I thought, the law of attraction requires that I intend what it is that I want in life, that I put together some focused action to reaching that goal, but also that I become responsible, that I become responsible for making sure I coordinate my intentions with my actions and making sure that it all works smoothly. Now, life does happen, and that's something that none of us are going to avoid. I'm very fortunate that I work at home, and so I started thinking about that, and I thought, these things wouldn't be happening if I worked in a job. But then again, I would have a boss, I would have to commute, I would have all those annoying things to deal with. So I started thinking about the attitude of gratitude. And I thought, I really should be grateful that I'm even here, that I'm able to do these things during the day. Most people can't. And as I went with that feeling, I started thinking back on the beginning of the day and thinking, I was very grateful that I was able to do my meditation in the morning without having to jump up and get on a commuter train. I was very grateful that I had a piece of real estate that I'm selling that actually was a good investment. I was very fortunate that I now have a seller. I'm very fortunate that I'm divesting myself of this responsibility and will be able to put more time into other things. So there are a lot of things that I could be grateful for, and I started developing that gratefulness as I was walking back to get to my car. I was a little bit stopped in a moment thinking, well, what am I going to be grateful for about my brakes having to be repaired? But then I thought, well, first of all, I'm very grateful that I have mechanics that can do it, because I wouldn't begin to know how to do that. So I was grateful for that. Also grateful for the fact that I have a car that's reliable and gets me around. Not everybody has that. So I started developing a lot of gratefulness in my heart, and even started being grateful for the fact, and this might sound a little way out, grateful for the fact that I was paying some people in the neighborhood, the mechanics, to do a job, and my payment to them would help them pay their bills. So I got this whole chain reaction of gratefulness going on in my mind, and I started thinking, I'm going to actually take advantage of this walk. Instead of being steamed and annoyed about everything that happened, I'm going to use it to design my blog post for the day, because I had something in mind that I was going to do today about blogging. Instead, I decided to do this video, and so I kind of went over to my mind and got the idea to do what I'm doing right now. So I got the car, I came home, and I had a whole new feeling of gratitude, and was waiting to share this with you, and thinking, this is what stops people from being successful so many times, is life. Life happens, and if you let it make you totally a train wreck, then you're not going to succeed in anything you do, whether it's your job, whether it's your business, certainly if you're an entrepreneur, because for entrepreneurs, life does happen, and it happens always at the wrong time. And so I thought, you know, the responsibility is ours. It is our ability to respond when life happens. We have to take that responsibility, and we have to make sure that we turn everything that we do into a positive, into a proactive, into a successful mission, a successful journey. Because everything is, and it's not always a matter of accomplishing something. It's very often a matter of just being there and going through the process, whether it's getting an end result or not, as long as we're giving it all our effort and all our focused attention. And so that was what I was grateful for today. I did have just one other little surprise when I came home after all that. I ended up having to do dog chores. My wife, who was going to be taking care of the dog, had to be called away, and I ended up having to take care of the dog on top of everything else. And this is a 7-month-old puppy who really doesn't allow me to do too many things when I'm watching him, so that was another little side attraction in my day. But as you can well imagine, a puppy has its own way of making you grateful, and I am very grateful. As a matter of fact, he's right here with me. Maybe you can see why I might be grateful that sometimes I have to get distracted and take care of a 7-month-old blue tick hound, or at least that's what they called him at the pound. I don't know if I really trust that too much, but he has a few things that make me grateful too, and I thought I might share a moment of Giuseppe. So I hope you enjoyed this post. I hope it keyed you in a little bit on your own law of attraction efforts in your life, and I would like just a little bit of help. The one thing that I couldn't quite be grateful for, and maybe you can tell me how I could be grateful, on all those walking tours I had to take today, I was wearing leather sandals, ended up cutting into my left foot and causing a severe blister, and I'm still trying to be grateful about that one.